Hello and welcome to my Nikon Z8 first thoughts, first impressions, how this camera feels, how it works and how it behaves video. This is not a full review. I have not had this camera for long enough. I want to be able to use this camera for at least a week to 10 days before I'm going to review it. Just to be fair and just to find out absolutely everything about it. So this is the Nikon Z8. So let's get into it and I'll tell you all about it. I have been looking for this camera for about 2 years now. Believe it or not, in August last year, I was given the inside scoop on what was coming in the Nikon Z8, and I immediately knew I wanted it. Actually, no, scratch that. Wanted it isn't good enough. I immediately knew I had to have this camera. What delayed the launch? Why is it only being launched now? If you knew about it in August last year, one word, red. That red court case. That really caused problems. Nikon Z8, what was my initial thoughts when I got it? Well, I suppose being honest with you, when I first opened the box, popped the camera out, I actually genuinely was quite disappointed. And it was not the first impression I thought I was going to have with this camera. And I sat there and I said, God, like, what's wrong? And I was thinking, what's wrong is this camera just kind of looks and feels like my other cameras. Then I thought about it and I said, actually, hey, wait, no. This doesn't look and feel like my other cameras. It doesn't feel like the Z6 II, which is recording you now. It doesn't feel like the Z7 II, which I have here, which is my day-to-day camera. It feels more like the D850 and the D810. And I thought, wait, this is a positive. Now, as soon as you pick it out of the box, you look at it, and if you're used to using the D850, the first thing you'll notice is the build quality isn't quite the same. It's really, really, really blooming close, but it is not quite the same thing. Now, maybe it's modern plastics, because it just feels lighter to again, which is a positive yet again, because I do not want to be carrying around heavy gear. But when you use it after a while, there is exactly the same grip on the D850 as there is in the D810. There's the same body height, looking at the two of them, like look at the Z7 Mark II there alongside it. It's just a smaller camera. This doesn't fit in your hand that well. My baby finger or my little pinky was constantly falling off the bottom of this grip. It just felt uncomfortable. And because the grip isn't as large, it's actually biting down into your hand here more. Whereas the Z8, when I hold that up, it's fitting into the palm of my hand. It fits my fingers a lot better. It just feels right. It feels like a proper camera. And I don't know what I was expecting first. I suppose I just hyped up so much in my own mind that I was expecting something special. But what I got was something normal. But then I realised the normal was actually the special part of it, which is a bit weird. Switching on the camera, using it, all the functions and everything else, muscle memory, it felt like I was using my old D850. There was no difference hardly, or even transferring from the Z7 Mark II or Z6 Mark II over to Z8. You'll do it in 2 minutes. Literally 2 minutes. There is very little difference. The biggest difference you're going to find actually is the playback button. The playback button is down here, whereas it used to be up here before. That's now the FN3 button, I think, isn't it? Yeah. There's a few tiny little differences, and the dial has gone above and top. You've buttons above here. But look, I'm sure there's thousands of videos explaining all that to you. The next thing I did is I tried this in sort of low-lined ambient focusing and whatnot, in spot focus, and it just worked. It just worked. I basically set it to f5.6, 1/160th of a second at ISO 64, indoor lighting, and I said, right, I'm going to try focusing on a bit of paper with some writing on it. Then I focused off onto a carrying case. Then I focused off into the distance, and the Z9 just worked in continuous AF. So if you're used to shooting AFC, or if you love shooting AFC in low light conditions, this is the camera for you. This or the Z9 too as well, obviously. And yes, I could have bought the Z9, but it's too big, it's too bulky. Not buying a full, proper size digital SLR camera anymore. Sorry, no interest in it. I want something smaller, lighter, easier to go around the place, less conspicuous too as well. I tried the Z7 Mark II in exactly the same lighting conditions, and the AFC just didn't work properly. So one of the first things with the Nikon Z8, and this is a serious disappointment. When I say serious, I'm going to try and keep a straight face here now, because it was one of the things I was and I am still disappointed in this camera. So I'm going to take a photograph with my D810. So if you listen to this, bang, hear that mirror slap up and down, hear the shutter actuation, you know you've taken a photograph. Just once more. Bang! That's so solid. You know, there's a moment in time capture there. I'm going to get out my Z7 too, right? So listen to this. Bit more sedate, shutter actuation. Yeah, definitely something going on there. So now the Z8. So the first time I switched this on, I went to take a photograph. I was thinking, oh my God, my first photograph of the Z8. Oh, this is going to be so cool. Fired off the shutter button. I was thinking, what the hell is that? Do you know, it's funny and it's not funny. And I was thinking, oh my God, I can't take this seriously. It sounds like I'm using someone's mobile phone or one of those kiddie cameras or something. Just try it again now. Listen there now again for 1 second. I'm slowly getting used to it, but the first time I took a photograph, I just genuinely didn't know what was happening. I thought it was an error sound, as in to say, you know, something has gone wrong. And it's just really weird too as well, because when you do take a shot, the EVF doesn't blank out. What actually happens is, when you're looking through the EVF, the sides of the EVF kind of light up and kind of, they're highlighted. So it's kind of saying, oh, something's happened. And it was really weird. And I wasn't expecting it. And yes, I know that's what the Z9 does too as well, but it wasn't something that I was really expecting to happen when I pressed the shutter button. And I think it's down to the fact that this camera feels so very like my D850 and D810. So, you know, it just goes to show how convincing it is, really, I suppose. That's something you're going to have to get used to. But, and this is the really cool part of this now. I am just going to change this into burst mode now. And listen to this. That is the sound of 20 frames per second. And yes, I know, we all know, right? 20 frames per second in RAW, blah, 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 blah. But when you actually hear it, you're thinking, wow, that's really quick. That is really, really fast. And that wiped the smile completely off my face. This is a monster. This really is a monster. But it's just when you're taking single burst shots or single shots that it's something I'm definitely going to have to get used to. And it is something I genuinely was a bit disappointed in. I know that's nitpicking now, but I found it funny. And there could very well be a firmware update in the next 2 weeks, 2 months, 6 months, God only knows. And it'll give you the option of changing that sound to something a bit more solid or a bit more clunky or whatever else. And if that happens, I'm absolutely delighted. The image quality difference between the Z7 Mark II, the D850, and the Z8, practically non-existent. I was looking at RAW files last night, and if you're buying this camera as an upgrade for picture quality, you are wasting your money. You genuinely are, from what I can see so far. But from a focus, from a feel, from a usability point of view, this camera is simply stunning. And I haven't even touched on the video aspects of it. Once you start hitting the video side of things, and once you start talking about the quality of the video coming out of this machine, that's a whole other league. And that is what has completely killed the D850 for me. And that's why, for me, as a hybrid shooter, the Nikon Z8, I believe, and I'm saying this here and now, this is going to be the best-selling Nikon camera for a long time to come yet. This machine is absolutely sublime. And yes, I think it genuinely is quite a bit better than the D850. And it pains me slightly to say that, but I found a new friend. I'm incredibly happy with this camera. It genuinely, I'm trying to pull back the smiles here now a small bit. And it's not because, oh, it's a new camera. It's just because it works. And it might seem mad. The Z7 II, don't get me wrong, is an amazing camera. But like when we go out, let's say my D850 before, I used to go with my D850. We were a partnership. We understood each other. I knew exactly how the camera worked. It helped me in every shoot. The Z7 Mark II, we used to kind of fight a small bit about focus and things like that. If you swap over to manual focus every now and then. I didn't feel like it was my friend. I felt like it was a co-worker. Whereas the D850 was my best photography friend. And I genuinely think my Z8 is going to be my best photography friend now too as well. Just after using it a lot last night, this camera is beautiful. I'm really enjoying it. It's really made me smile, so I want to say an absolutely massive thank you to Nikon for producing this camera, because I love the feel of it. I love the weight of it. Do you know, it's my D850 in a mirrorless form factor, and that's something that just makes me so blooming happy. It really and truly does. I want to say a massive thank you to Birmingham Cameras. I'm going to put their details down below here, above in Dublin, for sending me out one of the first Nikon Z8s. So this is one of the first Nikon Z8s to arrive in Ireland, and I am super delighted to have it. I genuinely am. They're really nice guys, really good to deal with. So yeah, give them a shout. I'm going to use it in a commercial shoot today. I used it yesterday in one, and I'm going to really battle with this camera, really bash it around the place. Well, not bash it around, but really try it hard, push it hard in a lot of different circumstances, a lot of different shoots, and see how it fares out. Looking forward to posting a full review really soon. Give me about a week or two and I'm going to do that. So until then, see you out there. Thanks for watching and take care, everyone.